sorry. That's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. I'm on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And there's going to be no live show tonight. Why? Because my program is not friggin' working. Somehow, it got screwed up while the computer was turned off over the weekend. Don't you just love when these companies update shit? They don't know what the hell they're doing. Oh, it's got me pissed off. Pissed off. Very much so. So now I'm going to have to play around while I work on the broadcast and try to get this shit going, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing when it comes to that stuff, and it just peeves me off even friggin' more. It's been a great weekend so far. Real great weekend. Last night, sitting at dinner last night, my wife said, well, we do something tomorrow. Maybe go to the shore. What about fishing? And I said, I don't like going fishing during the daytime. It gets too freaking hot. She's like, well, we can go tonight. I was like, I had fishing pole in hand. What'd you say? So we went fishing last night, and it was pretty fun. Caught, 5 or 6 bait fish, and that was it. The storms that have been around are messing with the fishing. I was talking to the guy at the bait shop, and he said, yeah, that but the weather was screwing it up, getting it all screwy. I forgot today's Monday. I'm so off. I keep thinking it's Sunday. Don't ask me why. I've been one day behind this whole weekend. Talked to my wife last night, and I was like, when we were talking about fishing, I was like, well, I am kind of tired. It's Saturday. Everybody has off on Monday, so we'll go tomorrow night. And I was like, wait a minute. Shit, today's Sunday. Nope, can't do that. Nope. I'm wrong. Back it up. Oh, I'm so frustrated with this damn computer stuff. So it's been a real messed up time. I went to my parents today, and my mom's like, what the hell's going on? I'm like, you know what, Mom? I ask that almost every day. Doesn't make sense to me. And I mean, it's almost contradiction of what's going on within a lot of shit. You have Nancy Pelosi, which we'll get to in a little bit, making comments about how the people elected Trump, and they don't want to hear all this bullshit about him. She didn't use those words, but... And then, of course, you still have the Democrats that are running around screaming, the sky's falling, the sky's falling. Why... It's almost... It's just ridiculous what's going on. All right, DOJ came out and said... They found no evidence of wiretapping. Okay, so they didn't find any evidence. And everybody said, oh, Trump lied. So this article I came across is, ever since President Trump used his Twitter account to tell the world the truth about the Obama administration's immoral, un-American, and quite possibly illegal spying on him and his team. Our ever-corrupt media has used the laughable shield of hyper-literalism to protect their precious Barry. Basically, the surreal debate has gone like this. Media, Trump lied about Obama wiretapping Trump Tower. Reality, how do you know that? Media, well, for starters, Obama can't leave the White House without us knowing. Reality, I don't think Trump literally meant that Barry pulled a Tom Cruise and used a wire foo to place literal white wiretaps. Media, Trump's own Justice Department said there were no wiretaps. Again, reality, I don't think Trump meant literal wiretaps. He obviously meant surveillance. Media, he said wiretaps. He's a liar. Reality, are you aware that the modern definition of wiretaps no longer means the traditional terms for interception of telephone conversations, but rather a surveillance of cell phones and almost all electronic means of conversations? The media, Trump said wiretap. He said wiretap. He said wiretap. Reality, are you also aware that the New York Times used the exact word wiretap in a headline to describe Obama's administration's surveillance of Team Trump? Media, shut up, Nazi. And that's where the conversation would go. Over the weekend, the media's the avoidance of this inconvenient truth was resurrected when the Justice Department released a report stating that there is no evidence of any literal wiretaps placed by the Obama administration in Trump Tower. So this seems like the perfect time to remind everyone of the 12 times the very same media that is now lying about this did in fact tell us that the Obama administration did in fact, using the modern definition, wiretap Team Trump. We'll go in chronological order. The now defunct Heat Street, November 7th, 2016. Exclusive. FBI granted FISA warrant covering Trump's camp ties to Russia. Two separate sources with links to the counterintelligence community have confirmed to Heat Source that the FBI sought and was granted a FISA court warrant in October, giving counterintelligence permission to examine the activities of U.S. persons in Donald Trump's campaign with ties to Russia. And if you're wondering who Heat Street is and why you should care, just know that the New York Times republished this information in March. You know the information that Obama administration spied on Team Trump. Another time, The Guardian on January 11th, 2017. The Guardian has learned that the FBI applied for a warrant from the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance, FISA, court over the summer in order to maintain 4 members of Trump team suspected of irregular contact with Russian officials. The FISA court turned down the application, asking FBI counterintelligence investigators to narrow its focus. According to one report, the FBI was finally granted a warrant in October, but that has not been confirmed, and it is not clear whether any warrant led to a full investigation. Then you had New York Times on January 12th, 2017. In its final days, the Obama administration has expanded the powers of the NSA to share globally intercepted personal communications with the government's 16 other intelligence agencies before applying privacy protection. The new rules significantly relax long-standing limits on what the NSA may do with the information gathered by its most powerful surveillance operation, which are largely unregulated by American wiretap laws. These include collecting satellite transmissions, phone calls, emails that cross network switch abroad, and messages between people abroad that cross domestic network switches. Note the timing of in the final days of the Obama administration. As it was written in the Daily Wire back in March, this is the most important piece of the puzzle because it explains how the media was getting all of its scoop via leaks, via surveillance. Another one was the BBC, January 17th, 2017. Lawyers from the National Security Division in Obama's Department of Justice then drew up an application. They took it to the secret U.S. court that deals with intelligence, the FISA courts. They wanted permission to intercept the electronic records from 2 Russian banks. Their first application in June was rejected outright by the judge. They returned with a more narrow draw order in July and were rejected again. Finally, before a new judge, the order was granted on the 15th of October, 3 weeks before Election Day. Neither Mr. Trump nor his associates are named in the FISA order, which would only cover foreign citizens or foreign entities. In this case, the Russian bank. But ultimately, the investigation is looking for transfers of money from Russia to the United States. Each one, it proved a felony offense. A lawyer outside the Department of Justice, but familiar with the case, told me that 3 of Mr. Trump's associates were subject of the inquiry. But it's clear this is about Trump. McCarthy, the agency involved in the inquiry. This was January 18th, 2017. The agencies involved in the inquiry at the FBI, the CIA, and the NSA, the Obama's, the Justice Department, the Treasury Department's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, and representatives of the Director of National Intelligence, the source said. The key mission of the 6 agency groups has been to examine who financed the email hack of the DNC and Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta. The London-based transparency group WikiLeaks released the emails last summer and in October. The BBC reported that FBI had obtained a warrant on October 15 from a highly secretive FISA court, allowing investigators access to bank records and other documents. It's a joke. You had New York Times on January 19, 2017. Printed headline is Wiretap Data Used in Inquiry of Trump Aides. Let me say that again. Wiretapped data. Wiretap data. The FBI is leading the investigation, aided by the NSA, the CIA, and the Treasury Department's Financial Crime Unit. The investigators have accelerated their efforts in recent weeks. But have found no conclusive evidence of wrongdoing, the official said. One official said intelligence reports based on some of the wiretap communication had been provided to the White House. Yes, that's right. The Times used wiretap in the headline and in its story. Washington Post, February 9th, 2017. National Security Advisor Michael Flynn privately discussed U.S. sanctions against Russia with that country's ambassador to the United States during the month before President Trump took office. Contrary to popular assertion by Trump officials, current and former U.S. officials said. Flynn's communication with Russian ambassador were interpreted by some senior U.S. official as an inappropriate, potentially illegal signal to the Kremlin that it could expect a reprisal from sanctions that were being imposed by the Obama administration in late December to punish Russia for its alleged interference in the 2016 election. Flynn's communication with Russian ambassador were interpreted. CNN, February 17th, 2017. The New York Times quickly matched the story and said there was a transcript of the discussion. This is CNN celebrating Flynn being taken down by a transcript of a phone call that the New York Times reported in a story that used the words wiretapped under a headline that declared it I gotta delete something and I'm scared. Now I gotta recreate it all. Sorry. Still trying to get the live stream back up and running, and I gotta delete a program, and it's like, shit, if I delete this, I could delete the whole screen, so to speak. And I'm like, shit, do I really want to redo it? I'll find out if it's a bad thing in a few minutes. NBC News, February 10th, 2017. I know this is kind of long, people, but you know what? This is what has been going on. The media reports it, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, no, he lied. Trump lied. There was no wiretapping. When they've talked about it themselves. They talk about how they were bragging about how Obama had wiretapped Trump. They were bragging about it. But now it's coming, that's a bad thing. We can get some people in trouble. Wiretapping? Oh, there was no wiretapping going on. Oh, we don't know what you mean. No habla inglés. It's like, oh my God. What the But NBC News on February 10th, 2017, the U.S. intelligence official briefed on the matter confirmed to NBC News that NSA Mike Flynn discussed sanctions with Russia ambassador before Flynn took office. The official said he was told there was no quid pro quo and that there has been no findings inside the government that Flynn did anything illegal. Oh, yes, NBC News was well aware of the fact that the Obama administration was listening in on Flynn's calls, and as you will read below, so was the AP, ABC, and CBS. How else did people know? But it was wiretapped. They were listening in. And no, I don't think that Obama was dun 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 dun, sliding down the wire. Oh, let's put this wiretap right here. All right, let's shimmy up the rope. I can't sweat because I set an alarm off. That's a bunch of bullshit. And it's been talked what happened about a lot of that wiretapping. He contacted the British. Hey, give me access to your wiretappings that you listen in on our guys. Okay, here you go. Associated Press ran an article on February 13th, 2017. ABC News, embattled NSA Michael Flynn called Vice President Mike Pence Friday to apologize. Let's see, CBS on February 10th ran an article. In a nutshell, here's what happened. Number one, believing Hillary would win, the Obama administration brazenly spied on Trump's team. You see, if Hillary won, they would have never got caught. The goal was to personally and falsely destroy Trump as a Russian spy after he lost. Why? To destroy his powerful coalition. Two, the media knew the Obama administration had wiretapped Trump because they were the ones benefiting from selective leaks that could only come from monitor phone calls. Three, when Trump unexpectedly won the election, the media and Obama administration simply launched the phony Russian narrative anyway. Four, without striking it through without thinking it through, the media openly reported on how their super awesome Barry had busted Trump as a Manchurian candidate because super awesome Barry did some super awesome spying because he's super awesome, but this blew up in everybody's face when Trump accurately accused Obama, with the modern definition, wiretapping, and blew the lid open on Barry's horrific and un-American behavior. 6. So now the media lies about and covers up Barry's spying by hiding behind the hyper-literal and outdated definition of wiretap, even though on 12 different occasions the MSM proudly reported on Barry's wiretapping, even though the New York Times actually and accurately called it wiretapping. Good thing the internet and print and the truth are forever. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying Catholic, stupid bro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Still messing with this damn program and seeing if I can get... I'm trying to install an out-of-date version, and nope, it's still screwing up. Now it's saying, please enable direct 3D acceleration when it's already enabled. Oh, boy. What to do. Now I gotta figure out UTC plus 8. What time is that? Oh. Let's see what time it is in there. It is... Wow, 5:30. Huh. I'm kind of at a loss here. It pissed me off when you pay for this. All right. Support. Give me 1 second while I do this. Putting in the support ticket. I feel like I'm playing one of my games. It's weird. Someone else posted something like a year ago. I'm copying and pasting their message. And just, use theirs. How bad it is with the media. I mean, literally, they are. They are trying to make shit up, trying to really stir the shit. Is there division in this country? Yes. Is it really that bad of a problem that we've been led to believe by the media? Maybe it's not that bad. Maybe this issue that Antifa and the liberals are trying to talk about is just another distraction. We see in Texas And I'm not trying to get political on Texas with the hurricane, but when you look at them, it's so many people coming together. So many people in different backgrounds coming together to help one another. You know, nobody's worrying about they're not worried about anything. They're just doing it. It's beautiful. And not that the hurricane is beautiful, just everything that's going on. Just everybody coming together and it's and it, how the hell did I go over on? I've never heard of that, doing a message, and you've gone over by 5 kilobytes. Never ever heard of that before. That's weird. Everything we see that's going on is, well, just people taking care of people. It's not this bullshit that we see going on. And if there was nothing to report on like that, they would have to tell the American people just how great things are going out there under Trump. That we have an economy that's doing a hell of a lot better. How things are doing the world isn't such a crappy place. But no, they couldn't tell that. Hell no. Because if they actually talked about that, things would look very bad for everybody. So what we need to do is force that information out there. We need to not force, but we got to get it out there. Because the reality is things are doing better than the Democrats want to admit. Because then they would have to admit things are bad. Things are very, very bad. It's Democrats are in trouble if they keep this shit up. Let's see. All right. I got that crap done. Let me see something. Direct. 3. order. Now this is another one that had me kind of laughing. It's a media company that was endorsed by Hillary rewrites the 2016 and proudly wipes out all her mistakes. It's amazing how to get these stories it's sorry, and sorry, Ed. Now before we really get into this article, we're gonna hit a break, and I gotta finish reading something real quick. And you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mud Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here, and we have finally expanded to 2 hours. That's right, 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, normally, if you want to watch a live broadcast, you can go to Reaver.one and click on the SHR TV button. But the program decided to give me issues tonight. And I just got it fixed. Finally, the rock. No. Oh, my God. Windows updated. Or when one of the drivers had an update. So I finally did that. That's why I did during the break, and I got it running. Yay! Oh, man. It's always interesting. Son of a bitch. And you know what? That's that new video card I just put in. Just put it in the other night. I already need it updating. Great. All right, but the next article I want to go by is Verit, I think it is, a new media platform, and it's been endorsed by Hillary Clinton that claims to represent her voters is rewriting Hillary's mistakes out of the 2016 election. Verit blames the media, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, and alleged voter suppression. Now, they're claiming voter suppression for Clinton's loss. How the hell was there voter suppression? That's what I want to know. It also includes no mention of Clinton's many unforced errors throughout the campaign, such as her decision to skip campaigning in Wisconsin during the general election, or when she referred to, now it writes, Trump supporters, how about Americans, as a basket of deplorables. Now, this Verit is launched by a former Clinton advisor, Peter DAOU. It's like DAOU. DAOU. Quietly launch Verit. Let me make sure I'm saying that right. It's VERRIT. Yes, I know. Probably something simple. I'm overthinking. And that's the problem. I have a bad habit of overthinking. When I think, trying to pronounce stuff, I overthink and start trying to get too fancy with everything in my head. And it's probably just something very simple. I bet you. All right, let's see what it is. See how bad I screwed up.
Barrett.
Verret. Nothing. All right, let's see what this jackass's name. So, Verret. And Peter D-A-O-U.
Dow.
All right, Peter Dow quietly launched Verret earlier this summer, but it flew under the radar until Clinton endorsed it on Sunday night, calling it a media platform for the 65.8 million voters. The website seems to appear to be a project months in the making. Verret was LLC was registered in December, as many on the left struggle to come to terms with the idea of a Trump presidency. One recent Verret post, altered by Peter, accuses Sanders and the mainstream media of helping put Trump in the White House. Another post claims the media was disproportionately focused on Clinton's email scandal. I'm not joking. They said that the media was focused on the email scandal. One network reported on it. The rest of it called it a, scandal. It wasn't a scandal. She had an illegal server. She was using an illegal, unsecure personal server for classified information to be sent around. Peter went on, mainstream pundits invariably and incorrectly blamed Democrats' message or supposed lack thereof for the party's electoral losses, before offering three alternative scapegoats for the party's failures: gerrymandering, voter suppression, and brutal efficacy of the right-wing media machine. One so-called conservative news agency to what? Two main 24-hour news, and then what? 10 other liberal? I mean, come on. You want to talk? Talk about living in an alternate universe. The Democrat. What message did Hillary have? Trump mean. Trump say bad things. Trump mean. Trump say bad things. Oh, that's right. And my husband will handle the economy. My husband, NAFTA. My husband will do this. Oh, and Obama. The only things that were her ideas were the open borders and raising taxes on the middle class. And that one, nobody really talks about. I don't know if you guys... Man. She actually said she was going to raise taxes on the middle class. And they cheered. The people cheered. Here we go. Hopefully there's no damn commercial.
Trump wants to cut taxes for the super rich. Well, we're not going there, my friends. I'm telling you right now, we're going to write fairer rules for the middle class, and we are going to raise taxes on the middle class.
Let's play that again. Oh, so Now all of a sudden my damn tablet wants to go into, like, it doesn't know what it's doing mode. Oh, Thanksgiving. I know it's a little bit of ways, but oh God. I'm going to the in-laws for Thanksgiving. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 liberals. My wife won't get involved in it. Versus me. Anybody want to trade places with me? Bueller?
Well, we're not going there, my friends. I'm telling you right now, we're going to write fairer rules for the middle class, and we are going to raise taxes on the middle class.
Nobody brings that up, do they? She's going to raise taxes. But yes, let's talk about how. Ignore, I should say. There was no message. It was Trump says mean things. Trump is a mean person. Trump says mean things. What about, let's see, Peter, in his website, ignores Clinton's decision to skip campaigning in Wisconsin. Skipped it. I guess that was Russia's cloaking device. The writer similarly ignores the subject of coal entirely, including statement by Clinton in March of 2016 that says, we're going to put a lot of coal miners and coal companies out of business. So she's going to be putting people out of work. She's going to be raising taxes on the middle class. But yes, we'll ignore all that. And left out, Clinton dismissed Trump voters as baskets of deplorables. They still, Hillary and her buddies have still yet just come out and say, she fucked up. She fucked up. How many months did she hide from the media, never gave an interview? I think Obama and other Democrats campaigned harder than she did. She expected everybody else to campaign for her while she sat back and did nothing. And I love how anytime something ever happens to her, it's a right-wing conspiracy. The Democrats are not learning. I think Pelosi kind of got it in her head. As I said, we'll go over that article later. I think she's getting it through her head because I reported it last week. Democrats did a study with a poll, and their own poll showed that their people don't want them obstructing. They don't want them resisting. They don't want them just going against Trump for the sake of going against Trump. Problem is, that message isn't getting to everybody, including Clinton, because really, with her running out here, writing a book and running her mouth, that's hurting the party. They got an election coming up, and that hurts them. And then you have the New Hampshire Democrat Party chairman calls rural disaffected voters white supremacists. Yeah, so let's insult more voters. How the hell, what is their thinking behind it? Let's insult them and then say, vote for us. Are they really that brain dead? I hope not. Because that'd be scary that they're in office and they're that fucking brain dead. I think his name is Matt Baynard, whose new organization is planning outreach to inactive voters in New Hampshire. Bernard said, we've identified maybe 15,000 inactive voters who we would consider disaffected, patriotic Americans and potential 100,000 or more unregistered adults we're going to reach out to. He explained his organization is using psychometrics, saying normally it gets applied to likely voters universal for purpose of persuasion. We're applying it towards identifying patriotic Americans who become disaffected and cynical so we can engage them on issues relevant to them. Get them registered, get them educated, and turn them out to vote. And notice how now that Obama's out there want to be patriotic, but when Obama was in office for 8 years, patriotic was considered a domestic terrorist. Now that they need those people to win elections, oh, they love patriots. Now, in response, the chairman of the New Hampshire Democratic Party, Ray Buckley, said the organizing and activating of these extremists, these white supremacists, really could have a detrimental effect on the entire culture of New Hampshire. All right, so now I'm sorry, I didn't even read this article. I pick out certain articles, I skim it, I don't read them until we get on air, so it's a live reaction. So this Matt Baynard has an organization. He's doing outreaching into inactive voters to educate them and go for patriotic Americans. And now the Democrat responses from the New Hampshire Democrat Party is to call those disenfranchised. Because I was getting confused. He's sitting there talking, considered disaffected patriotic Americans, but they're saying, the New Hampshire Party chairman's calling disaffected are white supremacists. I got kind of confused there for a second when I was reading it, trying to figure this out. So now it's making sense. So this organization is going to go out and try to educate these people that aren't voting. Get them out there, get them registered, get them voting. So the Democrat Party, their whole response is calling those people white supremacists. Which way do you think those people are going to vote for? Americans are getting tired of getting called racist every time things don't go the way of the Democrat Party. They don't agree with you. You're racist. It gets really tiresome with that. Also, side note, Florida is in a state of emergency already. Governor Rick Scott has declared a state of emergency. Hurricane Irma looks like it might hit Florida. Don't know where. I'm kind of worried about it, but it won't be until next week, I think it is. But Rick Scott, I know people are going to complain. Why is he wasting money? Why is he doing that already? Well, he's going to get everything lined up and get things here because it's a Category 3 and it's going to strengthen to a 4 before it even hits the Bahamas. Oh, no, now it is a Category 4. I'm sorry. It is now a Category 4 update. Irma is a Category 4. The state of emergency covers all 67 counties. What they're doing is as Rick Scott has stated, they're preparing for the worst and hoping for the best. And that's the best thing to do. It's the way I did my EMS career. Plan for the worst, hope for the best. And that's all you can do. If you do that, you should be ready for whatever's thrown at you. Think of the worst thing that could happen. Plan for that. And if you're ready for the worst thing to happen, anything else that gets thrown at you should be good. So, yeah. Hurricane Irma possesses a severe threat to the entire state of Florida and requires that timely precautions are taken to protect the community's critical infrastructure and general welfare of the state, the executive order states. All right, we're going to head to break, and when we come back, we'll talk more on politics. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cough for the stupid program.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Let me tell you, Texas, I'm so proud of them. I am so proud of Texas, and it doesn't shock me. I have seen some of the worst of people, but I've also seen the very best of people. I've seen when the worst of humankind, and specifically because it's coming up, 9/11. I seen what the worst, maybe not the worst, but you know what I mean, the bad that humans can do to each other. And I also got to see, at the same time, the best in humans. When humans want to come together, what they can do is just amazing. It's amazing. I'm serious. I mean, what I saw on that day. One of the patients, I was working in the hospital the night of 9/11. And we had been on alert a little bit because we had, towards the end of the night, as it went on and on, we knew what was going on. But we were hearing all sorts of reports that were coming out. And we were only like an hour away by train, if that. And a lot of people that lived in or where I worked, they lived in Princeton area, but they worked in New York City. Hell, I was working in New York City for a while, too, while I lived in, Ewing, New Jersey. It wasn't unheard of to jump on the train, 45 minutes, you're in New York, you're there. And first we were expecting a lot of people, and then it was, we started realizing what exactly was happening. And it was, God knows, 2 o'clock in the morning, this gentleman came in. One of the nurses blew it off as someone seeking attention. He had told us he was in New York. He was in one of the buildings that collapsed. And upon further evaluation, I had to take him out to a shower outside. He had this powdered concrete and bits of concrete compacted, like a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch thick in his hair, all over his body. I mean, it took like a half hour of rinsing his head, to get it out. And the cuts, scrapes, and bruises we started seeing. And I'm talking to the guy, and I was like, all right, so you said you're in a building? He said, yeah, I was in one of the buildings that collapsed. I said, you had hospitals right there. And he looks at me, and he's like, well, first off, he goes, I was in there, and while I was trapped, I had a firefighter who was dead right there in front of me, and we were trapped there for a while. When I got out, first thing I thought of was, I'm not really injured. I'm hurting, but I'm not injured. There's got to be thousands of people that are severely hurt, and the hospitals are going to be overflowing. Let me get home. I'll go to the hospital here so I don't take up a hospital bed there. And like I said, I'm the ER tech. I get the shit jobs. So I'm sitting there cleaning this guy up. And I just concrete powder, just, you could see everything that was up there was in his hair. But it just, to me, it was that moment that he didn't want to go to the hospital there, even though he was hurting. He didn't want to take up a hospital bed. Because he thought there was going to be, thousands of people. So he took that. You know, and normally, like I said, it's 45 minutes an hour, but that day there's no trains. You had to walk out in New York. There's people, they had to leave their vehicles, trucks, and they had to walk out of New York. Everything got shut down that day in New York. My brother included. My brother, we couldn't hear. We didn't know what happened to him for hours. My crews that I had trained were up there, and I couldn't even get in touch with them. But I seen the best, and days later just... And I knew it wasn't going to last long, but people running out of their houses. People running out, waving at us as we'd go by in the ambulance, fire truck. So what I see in Texas doesn't exactly surprise me. When tragedy strikes, America always stands up and does its best. It reminds me of me and my brothers. And I know it's other families are like this. We fight like cats and dogs sometimes, me and my brothers. Little story for you. Okay, this is stupid. It was a stupid thing to happen. Me and my middle brother, we were going to Lincoln Technical School for mechanics. Oh, I was hungover like a motherfucker that day. I mean, I was hungover. Head was pounding. And I had my head on the desk and my brother sitting next to me. We actually, I think, had an argument on the way in. He kind of pissed me off, which brothers do. And this guy, and he was a convict. He out of prison, attitude. He starts mouthing off to my brother. You know, they were going back and forth. And it started getting a little heated. And my brother's a fighter. My brother was a fighter. And this guy's making some threats. And it was getting pretty bad. And I popped my head up. Started paying attention. And another guy taps the convict on the shoulder and goes, "I wouldn't do that if I were you." He's like, "Why? I could take him." He goes, "You ever see the guy next to him?" He's like, "Yeah, so." See how he popped his head up? Yeah, and? That's his brother. And I'm pretty sure if you pick a fight, he's going to knock you from behind. He's like, "Well, I'll just get them mad at each other right now." Me and my brother looked at each other and went, "Yeah, we'll kick your ass, and then we'll kick each other's ass." You know, that, and he backed down like any smart person would. And that's how I think America is. We can get in those family fights and arguments. We can go after each other. But nothing and nobody better attack us. And it's funny how the people are doing everything and helping each other. You have people driving all over America to go down there because they got a boat, a jet ski, and they're going down there to help get people out of there. And this, I'm not trying to point blame, but, you know, it's going to sound like it. The mayor fucked up and got everybody to stay in the city. Now they're trapped. And he's more worried about playing politics than saving his people. So you have complete strangers coming down, helping no matter what color, what religion, what political background. And the people being saved, for the most part, don't give a shit. I don't think they care what. And then I'll tell you from experience, as an EMT and a firefighter, never once was I stopped and asked what my religious background was, what my political background was. When they needed help, because out here, well, you got tattoos. That could affect your job. Never, 20-some years, never did I have someone go, "Don't touch me, don't save my life, don't come near me. You got tattoos, let me and my wife and kids die. I'd rather my kids die than you touch me because you have tattoos." Never heard that. I would hear, "Son of a bitch, get the fuck over here and save my kid's life." Yep, that's what I'm doing. Afterwards, hey, after things get calm, no, she got some tattoos, conversations. When I was working hospitals, I would have some, especially the girls. They'd never be afraid of the needles. They'd get nervous. They don't like the needles. And they'd see the tats on my arms. I'd get talking to them. And distract them talking about my tattoos. They'd be looking at my tattoos. And one of them was like, she looks at me, she goes, are you going to do this damn IV? I looked at her, I said, I'm done already, hon. I'm done. She's like, bullshit. I showed her all the blood. I said, I'm done. How did you do that? I said, I had you looking at my IVs and talking to me about, had you looking at my tattoos and looking at my tattoos, and you were more interested in that at the time, so, you didn't notice. People don't care. When their lives in danger, they don't care. And when you go into that rescue mode, when you go there to put your life, put everybody else's life to save people, you're not looking at, well, you're this color, I ain't helping you. No, they go there, get the hell in the boat. Oh, what? They're not pulling up going, are you a liberal? Are you a conservative? No, they're going, do you need help? So, yes, the destruction, the death is disgusting. But at the same time, they're making me proud because they're showing what real Americans are about. And that's what we need to see and hear more of. We got to stop letting the politicians and the media from keeping us apart. Don't do it. We got it. Stop. You want to make a point? Stop watching CNN. Stop watching Fox. Stop watching MSNBC, ABC, CBS. All of them. Stop watching them. The ratings go down and down and down to where sponsors don't want to pay for it. They're going to have a choice. Go out of business, change what they do, or change the type of broadcasting that they do. We, the people, control the purse strings. We got to stop letting them think they're in control. Because we are the ones in control, people. You have MSNBC, Nance? It's a terrorist and analyst, Malcolm Nance, said Saturday that if it were not for Hurricane Harvey and the devastation that followed, the topic of discussion this week would be President Donald Trump's impeachment. Do you know how stupid those people are that keep talking about that? And I'm not talking to everyday people. And everybody has the right, these media, but when they do it on a political type discussion, you give hope to the people that aren't happy with Trump. And when it doesn't happen, who are they going to turn to and turn against? They're going to turn against those people that promised impeachment. They're not going to want to give them power because they failed to do what they promised. So all this, it's just more discussion to try to turn the subject back around to Donald Trump. Because they can't talk about what's actually going on in the hurricane. Because his response, and there's been a lot of mistakes over the last couple of decades with these hurricanes. They know how to respond to them properly. Donald Trump's a businessman. He made sure things were set up prior. We got a businessman. He does things like a business. He doesn't do it like a politician. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying half of the stupid program.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Conservative media done right. listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. They're stupid with this rant. Impeachment. Never happening. Well, as we all know, Chief of Staff John Kelly has been trying to control and block everything around Trump, but it's not exactly going that way, and President Trump is finding ways around it, according to a report. Kelly has tried to control who the president talks to, but Trump is continuing to call business friends and outside advisor, including former chief strategist Steve Bannon, the report by the Washington Post said. Trump calls Bannon and others from his personal phone when Kelly is not around, the report says. Donald Trump resists being handled. Roger Stone, former Trump advisor and longtime confidant, told the Post. You know what? I could see that. I can see Donald Trump. Hey, he's 70 years old. Do you think you're really going to control a 70-year-old man like that? I understand they got to get some things under rein. I understand that. We did not elect him to be a typical president. We did not elect him to be an Obama. We did not elect him to be a Ronald Reagan. We did not elect him to be Bush. We elected Trump to be Trump. I wanted something different. Nobody tells Trump who to see, who to listen to, what to read, and what he can say. He said General Kelly is trying to treat the president like a mushroom. Keep him in the dark and feed him shit is not going to work. Donald Trump is a free spirit, according to Roger Stone. Whereas before friends could call the White House to be patched through to the president, now his calls are routed through Kelly and do not always make it to the president, the report says. Friends used to be able to drop by the West Wing, but now they must have an official appointment and a clear reason to visit. Some Trump loyalists diversively dubbed Kelly the church lady, the report said. Kelly is reportedly reviewing White House staff and is said to be targeting aides without clear portfolios or responsibility. So far, most, if not all, of the White House staffers who have been removed, pushed out, or resigned have been Trump loyalists who were with him during the campaign. Trump doesn't like how Kelly is handling him, the report says. At the same time, he is quietly fuming over National Economic Council Director Gary Cohen's public criticism of his response to the events in Charlottesville, even after they spoke privately. He has grown increasingly frustrated with Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, whose approach the president says is totally establishment. White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders told reporters earlier this week that Trump absolutely has confidence in Tillerson. Barry Bennett, a foreign campaign advisor, told the Post that it's not unusual for Trump to bluster about things. That doesn't mean it's real. There were people on the campaign staff that he said to fire a dozen times, but he never did it. It was just bark, and some people don't know the difference between bark and the bite. I don't think somebody's understand English. Now we got 18 Republicans that are falling in line to oppose, because it looks like this week Trump is going to end DACA. DACA is those dreamers, those young kids that were brought here by their parents illegally, so they shouldn't have to leave. They didn't do anything wrong. Why do they have to? Give me a fucking break. They are here illegally. Just because you're underage does not excuse you of a crime. But 18 Republicans are falling in line with opposition to this possible elimination of DACA. Because they think, oh my God, the Democrats say people are for it. Oh my God, they're going to turn against us. Let me ask you this. Let me ask people this. Trump won the presidency. Trump says he was going to do away with DACA. Why do you think the people are going to back away from you, you jagoffs? 3 Senate Republican and 15 House members, including House Speaker Paul Ryan, are urging President Donald Trump to continue former President Barack Obama's illegal executive action put in place in 2012 to give some 850,000 illegal aliens temporary legal status and work permits. At least until Congress can come up with immigration legislation to determine its fate. Now we've had 5 years. Congress hasn't done nothing. It's time for them to go. Ryan and all these politicians, now all of a sudden, now we want to do something? Don't throw them out. Well, you've had 5 fucking years to do something. You bitched and moaned for 5 fucking years that this was an illegal executive order and it needs to be done away with. And now, we have a president who is going to do away with it. And they show their true colors, tuck tail, and run. And it's even some Florida representatives. So you got Ryan and, of course, Lindsey Graham, who voted against the DREAM Act in 2010 that basically gave the same protection as DACA. Now, all of a sudden, they want to keep it after voting against it. Senator Hatch, Senator Tillis, Senator Jeff Flake, Senator Jeff Denham, Representative Denham, Valadao, he's from California, Carlos Curbelo from Florida, Mario Diaz-Balart, Daniel Donovan, Don Bacon, Martha McSally, Will Hurd, Ilian Rawls something, Scott Taylor, David Richard, Newhouse, and John Faso. These are all Republicans. Now, all of a sudden, don't want the president to do away. Most of the Republicans challenging Trump are targets of Democrats seeking to win back the House next year and represented districts that will help determine the House majority, the Hill reported on Friday. Those lawmakers include Carlos, who has filed amendments to an upcoming spending package to keep DACA intact. 6 of these lawmakers wrote to Trump earlier this month, imploring him to leave DACA in place until Congress can pass immigration reform. They also sent a letter to Ryan urging him to work with us to determine the fate of DACA. The most striking move comes from Representative Mike Kaufman, who announced he will try to force a vote on his bill extending DACA work permits by starting a discharge petition, a rare move for a member of the House Majority Party, the Hill reported, adding that Kaufman would need to get all 194 House Democrats to sign his discharge petition in addition to at least 23 Republican colleagues. Curbelo and many Democrats had filed amendments to the spending bill that would provide funding for the Department of Homeland Security to keep DACA in place. Curbelo also has filed an amendment co-sponsored by Representative Peter Aguilar that would allow DACA recipients to work for the federal government. A version of that proposal was originally adopted in the House Appropriation Committee, but it has been stripped out ahead of the floor consideration next week. The Hill explained how DACA future may play out when the House returns to the Capitol next week. The House Rules Committee, which serves as an arm of the GOP leaders, will meet next week to decide whether any of the amendments to prevent the Trump administration from rescinding DACA can get floor votes. Problem is, you have an executive order written by a president that can get rescinded by a president. Congress can't stop them from doing that. They would have to sign new law in to allow them to stay, which means Trump would have to sign off on giving amnesty to these illegals. Even if the Rules Committee granted those amendment votes, procedure suggests that they would fail. In 2015, all but 26 Republicans voted for an amendment to a Department of Homeland Security spending bill that would end DACA. A similar vote in August 2014 resulted in only 11 GOP defections. I actually don't think we should do that, Ryan said. This is something that Congress has to fix. Well, again, you had 5 years. Psst, Ryan. Come here, Ryan. You had 5 years to do this. Hey, McConnell, you too. You get over here because your jackasses are running away also. You had 5 years. You didn't do nothing. The people voted you in not to give amnesty. You ran on not giving amnesty. Psst. So don't do it, you jackasses. Keep your promises. You already broke one of them. Jesus Christ. Give us the House and we'll do away with Obamacare. We'll stop illegal immigration. Oh, give us the Senate and we'll stop Obamacare and we'll do away with illegal immigration. Give us the presidency and we'll stop Obamacare and do away with illegal immigration. We don't want to do that because it's going to hurt a couple of people, and the Democrats said it's a bad thing to do, so we can't do that. We need to work together. Fucking traitors they are. That's what they are. McCain, Graham, Paul Ryan. Bunch of traitors. And I'm embarrassed by them. Now, I kept saying that Nancy Pelosi was making some comments about not criticizing the president. Well, Wednesday, Nancy Pelosi said American voters elected Donald Trump. And they don't want to hear Democrats criticizing, which disrespects their decisions. Quote, the voters don't want to hear us criticizing the president. This was a choice. They made a decision. And to criticize the president personally is to disrespect their judgment. So I say to members, this is about what we're going to do. Pelosi, who was speaking to the editorial board and reporters of the Denver Post about the Democrat economic agenda before she attended a progressive women's event in Denver, weighed in on a number of issues. Pelosi said it's too early to judge Trump on the response to Tropical Storm Harvey, which hurricane. We haven't seen it. He's been gracious. He went to Corpus Christi, which is sort of appropriate for him to do because in the heart of the storm, it would be a challenge to accommodate a president, Pelosi said, adding that she is worried about Trump's proposal cuts to the Federal Emergency Management Agency and his fiscal year 2018 federal budget. You can't do that, Pelosi said, adding that the issue will be on the table when Congress reconvenes in just a couple days. Now, for those that don't know what it is, I explained it already once, because even my dad heard it, how, oh my God, he's taking money out of Texas. No, he's not. Before Hurricane Harvey was a gleam in Mother Nature's eyes. Before Hurricane Harvey got big and strong from a butterfly flap, Trump and his advisors were going to take some of the money from the emergency fund and put it over to build the wall. to help finance it right now. Now here comes Hurricane Harvey. Democrats go, ooh, we could use this to damage Trump. We're going to blame him for it. Now, it's already been said that's going to be taken off the table. I mean, Pelosi, it's like, what the hell? I mean, I'm not complaining, just, what the? After the violence perpetuated by Antifa activities in recent week, Pelosi finally issued a statement condemning them and told the Denver Post violent acts should be prosecuted. I think if there are some people who are acting in a violent way, that they should be prosecuted. I don't care who they are, where they are, whatever organization they belong. You are talking about some individuals. You're not talking about the far left of the Democrat Party. They're not even Democrats. Well, guess what? They are. They are, Pelosi. If you're going to try to this alt-right bullshit, that's your alt-left. A lot of them are socialists or anarchists or whatever. A lot of them are socialists. And where are the socialists, Nancy? I'll give you the hint. You're the leader of the party. Violence by anybody is to be rejected and dealt with, but that's not who we are. Pelosi said she vows to fight the Republicans on what they want to do on the tax bill, and praised Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper and Ohio Governor John Kasich for their health care proposal. So, giving tax relief to the middle class, she's going to propose, or excuse me, she is going to oppose. Nice job there. Pelosi also said Democrats running in upcoming elections should not worry about her future as a House leader. I just say to people, just win your election. Don't worry about me. You just win your election, Pelosi said, while acknowledging that Republicans have used her as an issue on the campaign trail. She suggested that Democrats should run the question around and ask whether Republicans will support House Speaker Paul Ryan. When Republicans pose that question, you know they're talking about their own political bankruptcy. I love that. Oh, so we're going to just blame them. No. Nice one, Pelosi. All right, you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit, and we will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You gotta
A team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cough for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey takeover is upon us. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's see, where are we at? Well, the show's almost done. It went by pretty quick. Well, as its influence wanes, increasingly militant MSM promotes violence and censorship. Yes, the mainstream media has admitted they got 2016 exactly wrong and that they are out of touch with the average American. What truly terrifies the media about 2016, though, is something that has remained largely unspoken. It's what Trump's victory said so clearly about the mainstream media's inability to influence public opinion and, by extension, the outcome of the election. What has also remained unspoken is the media's desperate and dangerous reaction to this waning influence. As a 25-year media watcher, as this, again, the article's written, I've never seen anything close to the propaganda campaign the national media launched to defeat Donald Trump last year. It was 24/7. It was coordinated across every news outlet. It was all hands on deck. And Trump still won, which can only mean that media's influence has eroded to a point where, despite hurling every kitchen sink available, they suffered a humiliating loss last November. That loss wasn't just mainstream media. That loss has been going on with the Democrat Party. Mainstream media is an infection. And the people, most of them, have been inoculated. It's ridiculous when you have a national disaster going on. People are drowning. People are dying. And the mainstream media wants to talk about the First Lady's shoes. They want to talk about her shoes as she goes from the White House to Air Force One. It blows my mind. When you look at everything the media does, the lying, the campaign, a personal destruction, the fake news, this explanation is the only one that makes sense. The media is a full-blown left-wing political operation run, for the most part, by former Democrat operatives like Jake Tapper, George Stephanopoulos, and Chuck Todd, as well as those related to Democrat operatives. Knowing that, and knowing the long history of left-wing regimes, Stalin, Hitler, Chavez, Castro, we know that a left-wing political operation does when its influence begins to diminish. Because their ideas are so unappealing and are proven failures, the left ultimately has no choice but to embrace violence and censorship. This truth is as old as the Bolshevik Revolution. And this is exactly what we are seeing unfold today in our own country. Rather than politicians, though, it's our media that has turned dangerously militant. Rush Limbaugh is absolutely correct. The Democrat Party is dead. Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, the party's two supposed leaders, are non-entities. From top to bottom, the party is a feckless pile of incompetence. Knowing this, the media has told Schumer and Pelosi to hold their beer as they seize the lever of power in the left-wing cause. As a result, the media has used billions of corporate dollars to launch a propaganda campaign to unseat Trump and to keep the divisive issues of identity politics thriving. The media is trying everything it can to topple the American way. Naturally, this rabid pursuit of so-called social justice is meant only to serve what has always been the overriding goal of left-wing tyrants. Control of our lives through a centralized government. Nevertheless, this represents the least of our media's sins. The media campaign to censor and silence the political right, most especially on the college campus and online, is being waged on two fronts. Though the ever-expanding definition of hate speech in the alt-right and through large corporations. And this is exactly what I have been saying. Who gets to define hate speech? What are the parameters of hate speech? Because basically what I've been hearing is anything that is against what the left is talking about. If the left is not saying it, that is hate speech. If you disagree with someone, that is hate speech. Unless you're on the left. Then it's a social justice movement and you have the right to disagree. You have the right to say whatever the hell you want. But if you're on the right, you can't say anything. You can't disagree. Disagreeing is violence. So they keep spinning the definition of hate speech to silence people. And I said it from the time that they started really pushing the hate speech, because when they used that, well, it's not politically correct, that turned into a negative connotation. So then they figured, all right, everybody doesn't like hate speech, so we're going to start calling it hate speech. And people are catching on. Democrat Party is very easy to figure out. They keep using the technique with a slight twist to it. No new ideas, same thing over and over. Just a little twist. at this point, pretty much every conservative position on abortion, homosexuality, border security, police, affirmative action, immigration, terrorism has been labeled as hate speech by the establishment left and many in the media. Moreover, the holding of these beliefs makes you an automatic member of the alt-right, which aligns you with white supremacists. Now that this phrase is in place, now that mainstream conservative and Christian beliefs have been toxified as hate, whether they are already aligned with the media or because they have been bullied by the media into joining the cause, the mega corporations that now control our primary means of communication, the public square that is the internet, are instituting a wave of censorship. I seriously am waiting. I understand we're through Spreaker, who just merged with Blog Talk Radio. They have not bothered, to my knowledge, any of us alternate media personnel. Any of these talk shows, and a good majority of them are conservatives. They haven't bothered us. Where I see issues coming is our live streaming through YouTube, Facebook. YouTube is already going through and interrupting our live streams. First, they're going in and they're messing with the monetization. Basically, there's these ads that are played before or after, sometimes in the middle of our live streams. That earns money for the broadcaster. Not a lot. I mean, it's really not a lot. Well, they're stopping it for a lot of us. They have me saying I have copyright infringements. I am not in copyright infringements. I've also looked where there's no reason for it. They don't allow me for monetization. Why? Because I speak my mind. I don't kiss ass. So I am considered hate speech according to Google and YouTube. And pretty much SHR. But so far, Spreaker hasn't interrupted us. In fact, one of the things that I'm liking is with Blog Talk merging. Blog Talk figured out how to do monetization of our shows. That's going to get integrated along with their phone system into the software. That's going to be great. And that's why I worry about a lot of these systems that have free access, quote unquote, as I do the little hashtags with my finger. I want to smack myself for doing that. When they give that free service, yeah, they're going to start controlling that free service. And that's what Facebook is trying to do, Twitter, YouTube. They're trying to control it. They're trying to control what people hear, what they see, what is said. Google is turning into what it stood against when it first started. They are becoming the evil that they warned themselves about. Same with Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. They're getting so big, greed has set in. And what's funny is they hate capitalism. But that's how they make their money. That's going to be the end of the show. I'll be back tomorrow. And by the way, happy Labor Day to everybody. I forgot to just, with everything that happened at the beginning of the show, happy Labor Day. Hopefully you had a great weekend. I know I did. And now I'm going to go get some rest and be back tomorrow right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit. See you tomorrow at 9.
You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.